Good morning, gang. David Guppelt, Thinker Farmer here. I'm actually home in Gonzales right now. My mom has been fighting cancer as well as pneumonia the last couple weeks. It's part of the reason I've had a lag in posting YouTube videos. And today I just want to do a short video, kind of a marketing video for a future sale I'm going to do. I'm selling some hay equipment. And really, though, also wanted to talk a little bit about letting go in context. So first, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the equipment. So 2 years ago, or a little over 2 years ago, I purchased some small square bale hay equipment. And this is what you see here today. I purchased a cutter. You can see that, the Vicon CM168 model cutter. It's a 3-point hitch cutter. It has a kickback, so if you hit anything hard, it'll pop back. It's a rotary. It's got 2 rotary drums underneath. I might as well briefly look at that right now. You can kind of see, and then it's got 3 blades for each rotor. I purchased, I think it was the TD100 fluffer. That's what you're looking at there with those tines. I actually have another spare one over there for parts, and have an old hay rake, just one side hay rake, also a 3-point mounted hitch, and just ground operated simple wheel rake. And then of course the more expensive and Cadillac or nicest part of the whole piece of hay equipment is this Case square baler. And all of this equipment, I basically grew up using it since 2008. My neighbor had bought it brand new in 2008, and we probably made 5,000 square bales every year from the year 08 and on. Anyway, you can kind of get a picture of the knotters there. I apologize for the sun. It's not the best. Anyway, it's been good equipment. I mean, it's the reality of it is, I bought the equipment thinking that I was going to be selling a lot of horse hay. And then I might as well mention in passing too, I have an old New Holland. I want to say it's a New Holland 168, but I don't remember for sure. And it works, but it's just, well, you can see just looking at it, the age of it. Anyway, I'm not really trying to showcase the equipment too much. I really just want to give a heads up on my YouTube channel and also talk a little bit about context and letting go. So 2.5 years ago, when I purchased this hay equipment, I was working on a farm, and we really didn't have all the grazing management we needed to manage the pastures where we were raising chickens. And I wanted to use the hay equipment as a management tool for the pastures, also to grow some really good quality horse hay off of the chicken litter, and then sell that as a sideline business. And I knew how to run all the equipment because I'd run it growing up for years, and I figured it was just worth it to go ahead and take a risk. And that job ended up falling through, and I didn't stay there long term. So I ended up hauling the equipment, or paying a hauler to haul the equipment back home, and ended up building this pole barn, 50 by 20, just to essentially keep the equipment out. And then anyway, ended up storing, as you can see, wood, tomato cages, a tractor and bush hog, anything else, everything else with the kitchen sink, basically. Anyway, so at the time, I thought I was going to be at that particular farm for potentially another couple years. I didn't really know for sure, but I wanted to go ahead and take a risk. And in hindsight, I shouldn't have bought the equipment. I should have listened to Greg Judy. I should have listened to those words of wisdom that say, don't invest in single-use capital-intensive infrastructure, which is also another line from Joel Salatin. Even though he makes hay, it really wasn't a smart purchase for a 24-year-old to be making. But, you know, you also have to realize that in life, you've got to take risks. Generally, I've been averse to risks, and I'm going to just kind of scan around because it is a beautiful October morning here at, the original Gupple Farms. Anyway, I did some chores for my sister this morning, and anyway, back to the whole context and letting go discussion. I made the best decision at the time, and there's a lot of oftentimes you will take risks and you will regret them later, and you'll think to yourself, I wish that I hadn't taken that risk. But here's the deal. There's a greater risk in not taking risks. You have to take risks in life. If you're ever going to learn anything, if you're ever going to accomplish anything, you're going to have to fail forward and move through your mistakes in order to get anywhere in life. And so, while I regret that I purchased the equipment, I also know that at the time my context was different, and growing out of that context, I've realized since then I need to sell the hay equipment and let go of it. I'm planning to do a lot of livestock management in the near and probably long-term future, and small square hay baling equipment just isn't the way to do it. You can't feed 350 head of cows small square bales. I mean, you can, but it's going to be a lot of work and require a lot more labor. There's simply nothing more efficient than having the cow harvest the forage herself. So with that being said, I purchased the equipment for $12,000 minus the New Holland baler, but I'm probably going to try to sell it for that much because I haven't used it a lot, and I'm throwing in an extra older baler that I purchased for $1,000. If I can't get that, I'll get a little less. And it's painful for me to let go of the equipment. I'm emotionally attached to it. I'll admit it. Like a lot of farmers, I used this equipment for years. I mean, this baler, I've made more square bales with it than I've baled more than I've raised chickens, which means I've probably raised, I've raised over 20,000 chickens, so I've probably baled over 25,000 bales or so. I really didn't keep count, a number of years. So, after a while, you get to know the equipment, you get attached to it. The sounds are just like, for people that are coffee drinkers, it's like listening to your coffee maker in the morning, percolating that fresh coffee. So I don't want to let go of it. But in context, letting go is going to allow growth in my life. It's going to free up space here. And it's not going to sap emotional or physical energy. And that's a really important concept to get through. In the Bible, there's a verse in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. It says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. So there was a time a few years ago, it was a time to buy equipment and go ahead and take a chance. Now it's time to sell the equipment. And moving forward, believe me, I'm going to think 2 or 3 times about investing in capital-intensive infrastructure. Anyway, that was just a brief snippet here. It's a beautiful October morning. I'm going to be heading it back up to Missouri to get back to Greg Judy's farm, and I'm looking so forward to seeing the team and the cows. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day, and enjoy the journey.